Exactly. Don't be fooled by the theater about the U.S. and Israel having a fallout. None of it is real, yeah. And they are still passing the U.S. Israel Futures Act into law. Wow. That's...
Being the truth, they're acting like they're suddenly... Look past the carefully scripted theater flashing across your feeds. Yesterday, they gave you a headline of Vance wagging his finger at Israeli officials, telling them you can't unalive your way out of security problems. They want you to believe there's a scuffle between the administration and Israel, and they want you to believe the administration is pulling back, that a genuine fracture has formed, and now that the masses are seeing the truth, they're acting like they're suddenly separating themselves from the destruction. But it's a lie, and it's a calculated performance designed to pacify your outrage while the real gears of the system still turn uninterrupted. While they stage these public arguments for the cameras, look at what they're pushing into law. They're quietly advancing Section 224 of the FI 2027 NDAA, the U.S.-Israel Futures Act, and this isn't just an aid package, but it's a permanent, legally binding merger, and it forces the direct integration of artificial intelligence, automated battlefield networks, and surveillance data fusion between both countries. A system does not merge its core network with a nation it genuinely plans to break away from. This fake friction is just a smokescreen for a global corporate land grab, and if you follow the money, the illusion fades. Trump Inc. is actively expanding its multi-billion-dollar footprint across the Middle East, and it's funded by the same billionaire megadonors in Israel who funnel hundreds of millions into the political machine to dictate U.S. foreign policy. Then look at Project Sunrise, the official post-war blueprint for Gaza, openly pitched to private equity billionaires. It reveals the true, horrific agenda, is the complete terraforming of war rubble into a partitioned corporate playground only for the wealthy, and they've even color-coded the maps, dividing the land into strict zones. The premium coastline is carved out exclusively for the wealthy, filled with luxury skyscrapers, marinas, and resorts, and meanwhile, the civilians are zoned into fragmented, heavily monitored smart city sectors, compartmentalized cages designed to serve as a cheap labor force under a total digital surveillance dome. This isn't about defense, but it's a global business model. They use warfare to erase organic societies, clear the local population, and build a centralized, digitized empire from scratch, and this is their main goal. They're destroying the old infrastructure and economy, putting up smart cities to lock in the civilians, while carving out land for the wealthy that will be separated from the citizens. And they aren't pulling away from each other, but they're gaining the trust back from the people to keep moving forward without an uprising. So wake up, see the layout of the cage, and stop believing their scripts. We do not forgive, we do not forget. Anonymously enlightening out. Look past the carefully scripted theater flash.
Donald Trump gave Benjamin Netanyahu everything he wanted when Bill Clinton refused. Now this begs the question, what did Benjamin Netanyahu have on Donald Trump that was worse than the recorded sex tape conversations between Bill Clinton and Monica Lewinsky? Israeli intelligence reportedly had dozens of hours of explicit phone conversations between Clinton and Lewinsky, and this is before the public knew about the scandal. Benjamin Netanyahu attempted to leverage Clinton with the tapes, demanding Clinton release an Israeli spy by the name of Jonathan Pollard, a man who stole American secrets and military technology that he gave to Israel, which Israel in turn sold to China and Soviet Russia. Trump, on the other hand, caved completely. Immediately after Netanyahu visited the White House, the Epstein files began to dominate the news. Shortly after that, Trump released Israeli spy Jonathan Pollard from his life sentence and allowed him to return to Israel. Additionally, Trump started making some serious comments about going to war with Iran. Netanyahu had found his guy, but it has to make you wonder. If the Lewinsky tapes weren't enough to break Clinton, what did Netanyahu have on Trump that forced him into submission? At the end of the day, Bill Clinton made a personal, immoral mistake. He faced impeachment and public humiliation, but he refused to let Israel use it to leverage the American people. But Benjamin Netanyahu did not give up. and had to wait 17 years before he could get everything that he wanted. His agenda required an American president so morally bankrupt and selfish that he would sell out the American people and allow them to suffer just to avoid the embarrassment or consequences of his own actions, resulting in Israel dictating U.S. policy. And Benjamin Netanyahu found that in Trump.
What a moment. What a moment.
It hides in plain sight. Epstein was hiding in plain sight. We all knew about him. We all knew what he was doing. But we had no one that was, legal aspect that would go after him. They were afraid of him. For whatever reason, they were afraid of him. It hides in plain sight. Epstein was hiding in plain sight. We all knew about him.
Jared Kushner is obviously evil. He invested in a genocide before it happened, presented plans for what they would do once genocide was completed. And I guess we're supposed to think Ivanka's just his innocent wife or something. Jared's going to buy an island. But what island are we going to buy? And this is when they roll out Ivanka. Ivanka's supposed to make you feel like it's clean, right? Like you can commit a genocide and then feel really squeaky clean about yourself and spiritual almost, like that we've earned off the back of dead children. The widows that we don't care about, that are in Palestine.
Another Epstein Island.
Anyway,
another pedophile island.
Let's just hear Ivanka.
We're very excited.
I'm excited too, Ivanka. When she says her friend's boat, okay, she's talking about Nathan Rothschild. Okay, it's a Rothschild. This isn't just anybody. It's like, the makers of the universe kind of a family who say things like incest is best, right? Pull people into power. Sure, incest. They've been accused since the beginning of time of being Satanists and Baal worshippers.
I was on a vacation after we left government in the summer of 2021. We were on our friend Nat Rothschild's boat.
Okay, let's talk about Ivanka Trump. So Ivanka Trump is married to Jared Kushner. Jared Kushner is obviously evil. He invested in a genocide before it happened, presented plans for what they would do once genocide was completed. And I guess we're supposed to think Ivanka's just his innocent wife or something. Like you could just be like married to Henry Yagoda and it's all good because you smile and you pretend like you're just being moved spiritually. You share verses and goals on your Instagram and make everything look super pretty. And so don't mind the genocide that my family is benefiting from. Genocide was a little icky over in Gaza. We are going to benefit from that financially. But what are we going to do with all this money that we've now earned from this genocide? Well, we're going to buy an island. But what island are we going to buy? And this is when they roll out Ivanka. Ivanka's supposed to make you feel like it's clean, right? Like you can commit a genocide and then feel really squeaky clean about yourself and spiritual almost. Like she can speak and it's like, I just was so drawn to this island. I really want to, this is going to be really hard, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to do this with my billions and billions of dollars that we've earned off the back of dead children. The widows that we don't care about. That are in Palestine. Anyway, let's just hear Ivanka.
Private island in the middle of the Mediterranean. We were on a friend's boat and we stopped for a swim. Effectively, that's how we found it. We swam to the islands. We went on a hike, barefoot all the way up to the top, and we were just captivated. We had some of the greatest living architects of our time, like true masters of their craft, people with integrity so absolute, like there will be no compromise. And that's something we want to create there. So we're very excited.
I'm excited too, Ivanka. I'm really excited for you guys. When we talk about these architects that have a vision and these masters, I'm sure we're also referring to people like, Jared Kushner and Bibi Netanyahu. They had a vision. It was, look at all this land in Palestine. We kind of need a fake incident called October 7th in which we are the masters of it. And then we're going to claim to be victims. And then we're going to wipe out an entire population. And it is true that people do like to live along white sandy beaches and jump off of yachts with their friends and swim. And I'm glad she acknowledged that. I'm sure the Palestinians would like to live like that, but they can't. So it took a true master and an architect to think through cutting off their water and starving them and effectively driving them into a concentration camp and allowing them all to be murdered so that Ivanka Trump could be on her friend's boat. And when she says her friend's boat, okay, she's talking about Nathan Rothschild. Okay, it's a Rothschild. This isn't just anybody. It's like, the makers of the universe kind of a family who say things like incest is best, right? Pull people into power. Sure, they've been accused since the beginning of time of being Satanists and Baal worshippers, but don't let that get in the way of a good swim off the coastline of Albania. This is just Ivanka. Do you see how bright the lighting is behind her? This is heavenly. So white behind her. This could not be any darkness. It was just the lighting was perfect. There it is. This was a heavenly vision and an accident. They really just were on that boat, and then she swam her heart out, and they got to the island. Still, Nat Rothschild didn't look at the GPS. They said, I don't know what the heck this is, but we've discovered it. So it's ours. And now it's just it's a spiritual vision because everyone loves to have a home on a beachy island.
The hate of men will pass and dictators die, and the power they took from the people will return to the people. And so long as men die, liberty will never perish.
Jared